Hello, I'm Bill. I'm thinking, like, you know what guilt is? Guilt. Being a postman when it is raining. That's what guilt feels like. So that's what guilt is. It's like being a postman in the rain. Why? What do you mean, why? You know how it is when you're walking down, carrying up the garden path kind of thing, right? You know? Well, hold on. You know, it is, when it rains, you get a lot of snails about. Have you noticed how snails only come out in the rain when it's raining? Isn't it weird? Like when it's hot and sunny, you don't see many snails, do you? But when it rains, you get a lot of snails crawling around. You know what guilt is? Being a postman in the rain. Because you're walking up the garden path, right? You're walking up the garden path and you go, crunch. What? Crunch. And you, just, you stand back and you just trod on a snail. How many postmen are guilty of murdering snails? Do you know how it is when you're a postman and you have to you walk up the garden path, right, even when it's raining, like when it's raining or whatever, and you've got all these snails, tiny little snails running around, and you're walking up the garden path to post a letter and you go, crunch, oh fuck, and you step back and there's this snail squashed on the path. That's guilt, isn't it? That is guilt. Being a postman. I feel really guilty sometimes because you know when it is, snails only come out in the rain. I don't know why, but snails only really come out in the rain, don't they? On hot days, you don't see snails, do you? You know what I mean? That made great Star Trek characters based on snails. A snail, you know what I mean? For Star Trek, for like a planet where it always rains. Because snails only come out in the rain. Have you noticed that snails only come out in the rain? On a warm day, on a hot day, you never see a snail. Oh, I've got a snail. You never see a snail on a hot day. But when it rains, like, and you're a postman, and you've got the rain going pitter-patter on your face, so you can't see where you're going, sort of thing. And then you're sort of like walking down the garden path, and you hear a crunch under your foot, and it's a snail stuck to your shoe. How many postmen? How many snails get squashed by postmen? You have to admit, if you're a postman and you're walking up the garden path and it's raining or whatever, and you go squitch, squash, crack. Oh, fuck it. You go crack. You trod on another snail. That's guilt, man. That's fucking guilt. Being a fucking postman in the rain. Squashing snails. Because you walk up because snails only come out when it's raining, don't they? Because snails only actually come out when it's raining. The funny thing is with snails, they don't come out when it's hot. Snails don't run around when it's hot. But when it's raining, the snails come out and they run around the path, sort of thing. How many times do you get it when you're a postman? You walk on the up, crack. Oh, fucker. I'm repeating myself. I don't have a bad habit of repeating myself. Anything I want to say tonight? I'm a bit knackered, really. Well, some cunt smashed my window in the other day as well. I'm not that bad. Well, they're gone now. Good. That's a wank. What would you do if you were God? Without any power. What if God had no power whatsoever? I wonder what God would do if he had no power. He doesn't really have any power, does he? This God of yours. You know, I mean, you keep praying to his Jesus, right? You keep praying to God or whatever. But what does God ever do? Has God ever done anything? What has any God ever done for you? Does God actually do anything at all? That's an interesting question, actually. I'm just having my last joint, like, you know, before I go to bed. But you keep praying to Jesus, or whatever, like, or you pray to Muhammad, or Allah, whatever your God is, I don't know. I don't know, Christian, around me. Don't matter, does it? No. But what does this God actually do? This God of yours. Has he cured all your diseases at all? Has this Jesus cured any of your diseases? I don't think so. You still forget everything. You're still Alzheimer's. You're still dying of cancer and AIDS and tuberculosis, whatever. What is this God that you pray to? What does he actually do? That's what I'd like to know. I'd like to know that. You know how you have this God of yours? It doesn't matter what, all your religions, you have a God, don't you? You all have a God, don't you? Most of your religions. Because most of you are quite religious people. Most people are quite religious. You have all these silly little religions and beliefs and stuff, which, you know, kind of shite, really. But what do you actually? What is this God of yours? What does he actually do? I mean, in real life, in your entire life, you might be waiting up there in heaven or something stupid like that. You think you believe that? But you keep praying to this God of yours, don't you? Like Muhammad or Allah or Jesus, Krishna. I don't know, what's the name of your God? You know what I mean? But you keep praying to this God, and you wonder, does he actually exist? And what does he actually do? What does your God do for you? What does he actually, realistically, reality do with your life? Look at your religions, look at your lives. Your religions, your lives. What does your God actually do for you? What does he really do for you? Does your God actually do anything at all? He just sort of, I know you get into a frenzy when you pray and shit like that, and you're a bit weird. This God of yours, what does he actually do? I mean, you must believe in something. If you've got a God, I mean, wow, lucky you. Well, lucky me, I've got parents, you know, a bit more better than God's. You know, I've got mum and dad, so I don't mind. But I'm just saying, it's like, You keep praying to this sort of. You got your religions, you know, your Jews, your Hindus, your Muslims, your fucking. I don't know, you got billions of fucking religions. So. And you're all sort of praying to some God, Jesus crucifying in the sky. Is that what you want? Jesus crucifying in the sky. Yeah. What point is that? Like flying a kite. Flying a kite. That'd make a great kite, wouldn't it? But Jesus. Oh, I've got a great idea. Kites. Have you ever had a kite? The Jews. You ever had a kite? You know, have a kite and you fly it in the sky, you know, it's sort of made of paper and sort of like on a cross, sort of thing. A Jesus kite. Wouldn't that be great for a kite? Wouldn't that be great for a kite? You know, have a kites. Have you ever flown a kite? That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? That'd be funny. Now that would be funny. A Jesus kite. Jesus kite. Jesus kite. You know how it is when you were a kid and you have these kites that you fly in the sky, yeah? Have you ever flown a kite? Do people fly kites anymore? Do people actually fly kites anymore? Do you even remember kites? Do you know what a kite is? Do you remember what a kite is? It's like this flying bit of paper. And it's, well, you can have all sorts of kites. You have many kites. But you used to fly them in the sky and they're wonderful. I'll go on to that next actually. I can watch some if I can find it. Do you remember a kite flying? What about a great kite? It's Jesus Christ. That as a design for a kite. You know how you fly kites in the sky? Do you remember when you used to fly kites in the sky? What about a great kite? It's like Jesus Christ on the cross, like as a kite, literally as a fucking kite design, flying in the sky. Jesus Christ flying as a kite. Now that would be funny. Bye bye.